Call the meeting to order of the October 8th Sewer Commission meeting here in the town of Raynham at 6 p.m. First order of business would be the approval of the minutes from our meeting of 9/10.
I didn't see anything. I make a motion we accept as written.
So moved.
A motion has been made to accept the minutes as printed by Commissioner Kelleher and seconded by Mr. Beckel. Are there any notations?
Looks good to me.
Nothing
Okay.
jumped out.
None? Everything
No.
fine?
No.
I just make an observation that in the minutes, it talked about the study they did for the river wall, and as we found out that it would be cost prohibitive, so we decided not to go ahead with that design. It doesn't specifically say we decided not to go ahead, but for clarification purposes, we just decided we won't do that. We will go with the riprap that they had indicated. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as printed?
Aye.
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 It is a unanimous vote. Correspondence,
We have none this week.
nobody's talking to you, huh, Mr.
No.
Superintendent?
No,
Not even the commissioners, huh?
no.
Nobody had an observation on your preliminary draft that was sent around?
Guess not.
Did anybody see the preliminary draft that he sent the letter to the Board of Appeals?
I do not believe so.
Oh, he didn't get
He
one?
got-
I did. I
Email.
I emailed it.
Email.
Yeah.
I did.
I thought you
Did
had.
you see the correction?
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Roster's no longer on the board.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I wonder we, I mean, I gotta tell you.
I told Joe we gotta start calling Jeff after.
I mean, this
You asked me
is,
how you spell Keller.
yeah. Holy smokes. That's,
Well, listen, that's...
I hope you got the updated one.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
That's just a little checkpoint from our
Right.
superintendent who is on the ball. Okay. Superintendent's report.
Yeah, we do have that. Weekend in October 9th, 2020, Phase 7 contracts 1 and 2. The betterments for those remaining properties being bettered were mailed. We did field some phone calls with questions on the betterment. For the most part, everyone understood the process. A lot of questions were asked from the people that did call, mainly from Park Place and Gatsby Drive. These remaining areas included Park Place and Gatsby Drive, and also Courtney Way and Mill Street. Ty and Bond continues to work on finalized record drawings for the Phase 7 contracts 1 and 2. A meeting was held with CJP this past Tuesday at the Church Street Pumping Station to discuss the remaining punch list items for Phase 7 and the previously discussed change order for the expansion of the wet well at Church Street. This would be to accommodate the additional flows that are expected from the Phase 7 sewer expansion, particularly the addition of Park Place and Gatsby Drive areas. CJP will be willing to take the additional change order once issued, and will be working up a price once Ty and Bond has provided the plans. I gave you guys a projected schedule for that project once Dan gets moving on it. And it shows that design would be starting 10/16, hopefully finished by 10/23. At that point, from 10/23 to week ending 11/6, the change order cost development would be ready, and approval and process of the change order would be at week ending 11/13. And wet well hatch and manufacturing, that will probably be the sticking point because we don't know what the availability of that will be. We've been noticing that, especially like with our Katy Drive project, where there was a delay with the cement product over there with the tiles. So Bill did, after the meeting we had, Bill from CJP immediately called Boydco, who would provide this structure for him, to get an idea on it. So he's waiting for an answer from that. And actually, I think Boydco might have provided that schedule for the wet well hatch manufacturing.
So according to your schedule, construction won't start until?
yes, after that, once they have the structure, that they'd have to have the structure before they did anything. So that's gonna be all based on that wet well structure and hatch assembly. being
Best case
available.
scenario, right around Christmas.
Yeah,
Do we have an idea how long it will take to put it in?
they're saying a week,
A week?
yeah, it wouldn't take them that long. Yeah. So, I mean, one thing we'd have to be battling, hopefully we don't have a bad turn of weather, and if they have frost on the ground, maybe.
And I'm sure they can improve the wet well and hatch manufacturing, unless they're going with an unusual combination.
Yeah, nothing unusual, standard wet well like we typically use now with the wet well hatch
Yeah.
that we use.
Okay.
It isn't anything out of the uncommon. Also provided from Ty and Bond for this, the design and oversight proposal for this additional work that they'll be encountering. I asked the board tonight for approval to sign this. That is also in front of you. Yep. And if you turn to the last page, it tells you how much they want for that. Total amount, construction, sketch and details, construction administration, construction observation, the total amount would be $18,800 for that design, administration, and observation. And they do have it broken out on the different fees on that. But if you guys are willing,
We'll get to that.
okay. Alrighty, moving on. Paramount Drive Pumping Station. The contractor has now installed the remaining flex coupling on pump number 1. Ty and Bond is reviewing and finalizing as-built drawings provided by the contractor. The chain link fence is also now complete. Our crew patched up the ceiling and painted the ceiling and walls in the generator room. The generator floor will also get painted. It hasn't been done yet. The crew has also replaced the stone within the fenced-in perimeter.
Looks nice.
Yeah, it did come out pretty good, yeah.
You've got a good painting crew.
Yes. They had a visit. I have on I-9 manhole repairs, I had a company in repairing manholes and replacing manhole frames and covers in various locations around town. Not sure if you saw them around. They did 9 on Tuesday, I believe it was. These particular manholes had broken frames and covers with holes in them, and some deteriorating brick adjusting rings. So they've been chiseling them out, jackhammering them out, replacing the brickwork. If the manhole frame and cover needed to be replaced, which most of them did, they would replace them.
Superintendent,
Yes.
isn't that part of a normal maintenance program that you
Yes.
have?
Yes, so that's something we do, I mean, actually, quite frequently, because they get beat up by the traffic and beat up by plows and stuff like that, so.
So it's an ongoing process?
Yeah,
And every time we have a batch that need to be repaired, we
Yeah.
just repair it as a go?
right, yep.
Okay.
Katy Drive easement, the tile matting for this project was finally received and put in place. Lumen seed has been placed. The pre-existing sidewalk and granite curb was replaced today. The new gate installation still remains, but should be completed soon, if not tomorrow, probably next week. Sewer billing, as previously reported, sewer billing has been completed and processed for the billing cycle from January 1st to June 30th. Sewer users should have now received their bills. I know I received mine. We have had some phone calls with some of our customers with questions, so I know a lot of people have received them. I worked with Treasurer Collector Michael King to produce an informational letter for the payment procedures for these bills. This information is on our website. I did provide you with one of these, so you can look it over if you want. I'll read it. Dated September 22nd, 2020, sewer billing payment procedures. For sewer user billing payments, some options are in place. In speaking with the tax collector on this topic, he has informed me that there are a few options that our users could utilize for payment of these bills. Number 1, users can pay by electronic check or credit card if utilizing the town's online payment platform, Unipay. A link is located on the town's website, www.town.raynham.mass.us, under online payments. Item 2, users can also set up an automatic payment process in Unipay, where the sewer usage fee would be automatically withdrawn from the account that they wish to utilize. Please note that you are responsible for stopping any automatic payments if you no longer own the property. Number 3, users can also still mail in their bill payments or place them in the drop box located outside the town hall entrance. The sewer department will not be responsible for bills or payments lost in the mail. Please follow up to verify that your payment has been received. Note, if you have an overdue payment, please contact the tax collector's office for the outstanding balance. The sewer department bills in the arrears utilizing a biannual billing cycle. Our billing cycles run January 1st through June 30th. The bill would typically be received by our users from this billing cycle late in September. July 1st through December 1st, this bill would typically be received by our users for this billing cycle in March. So this letter will be posted on the website if anybody needs to see how to pay the bills. The information, I believe, is within the bill package when they send it to you.
Going forward, would it make sense to put a copy of this in the bill itself?
I can talk to the town hall about doing that. They're the ones, we send our stuff up there and they process them from that way. Actually, it's electronically sent up there.
That way we can't have anybody saying that I didn't know this information.
Right, yep. I'll talk to Mike about that, see if we can do that. Taunton River easement stabilization, time bond has now been instructed to move forward with the previously discussed option being option A, which is the riprap as you discussed earlier. Permitting documents are being finalized and anticipated to be submitted to conservation in November. Raynham Riverwalk project. This project, which is located on Church Street, was originally going to be an over 55 community with roughly 50 or so condo style units. As you may know, the over 55 project is shot down. This project is now in preliminary stages to be a 40B project with 138 3-bedroom townhouse units. Predicted sewer flows by the developer would be between 30,360 and 45,540 gallons per day, or 110 gallons per bedroom. A zoning board of appeals meeting was to be held last night on this project, but the applicant failed to do a proper newspaper posting for the meeting, so this meeting will be continued to another date. I believe they were saying November 18th on that extended date. The applicant is requesting a waiver under the comprehensive permit to have the zoning board issue the sewer connection permit rather than the sewer superintendent. I have submitted a letter to the zoning board requesting them not to approve that waiver as submitted. Fall town meeting. Fall town meeting is scheduled for November, although during this past selectmen's meeting it was discussed to possibly extend that date as well. We may have one article for the warrant related to the Taunton projects. Taunton has informed me that our capital payment this fiscal year on their main pumping station project will be $282,508. I have requested a meeting with Taunton to discuss the expected payment schedule of the capital projects. The deadline to submit this article is going to be October 20th unless the November date gets extended. I do have the article, I guess how it would be submitted if we do go forward with it. So it reads, Town of Raynham Sewer Department, capital improvement article for November 2020. To see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $282,508.01 from the sewer enterprise retained earnings for the expected payment to be due to the city of Taunton for Raynham's capital share of Taunton's wastewater treatment plant and main pumping station rehab projects. We'll take any action relative there too. So that, if everything goes right, we may need to submit this. We're still waiting for free cash amounts from the town accountant, so we don't really know, and I think that's what the delay is for the town meeting as well. We don't know what we have in there right now, so. Yep, oh, sorry. Yeah, do that more, don't I? I get some pictures there of the Paramount progress showing the new vibration isolators that are both in there, plus the fence around the building. The other page shows some storm damage that we incurred overnight. During last evening's storm, we sustained some damage at the King Philip Street pumping station. Luckily, it was limited to the control panel enclosure as well as the chain link fence surrounding the pumping station. Our crew removed the fallen tree, and the insurance company has been notified. I tell you, when you first pulled up there, that's all you saw was tree carnage all over the place. And you couldn't even really see the cabinet or anything initially. And we got very lucky because it landed on the cabinet, which was probably the strongest piece there. There's a fiberglass enclosure there that's in the ground. It's a round fiberglass enclosure, and that's actually where the pumps are housed. And the tree was laying on it, but no damage to it, nothing. I guess if it landed the right way, a branch could have went right through there. And sitting right beside that, you can see the beige colored panel. That's actually the generator, and it didn't get touched. But the cabinet, initially, we couldn't open the cabinet where the doors were. The roof was pushed down on that cabinet, so we have a hydraulic port of power, and which is basically a jack with a long shaft on it, and we were able to push the roof up so we could open that cabinet up. So it's got some damage. I guess luckily it's minimal. Again, seeing what it looked like when we first pulled up there,
Yeah.
we didn't see the station. There was trees all over the place, and TMLP is still there now, I think, cleaning things up.
I noticed a big tree on Locust Street too, laid in the front yard of somebody's on
Oh, yeah.
it was coming down.
Yep. Yeah, they're down everywhere. And on the next page, you see the Katy Drive easement progress photos. And you can see in one of the photos, they're lifting the tiles with that crane and putting them in place. And the last photo shows pretty much almost the finished product, other than the blacktop.
Those are interlocked tiles?
Yeah, they're all linked together
Yeah.
by cable, and then
Yeah.
when they put them down in sections, so you see that one section that's being lifted, and then they just place them beside each other.
That's really neat.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it makes it solid over there.
Yeah, so we're gonna be good now.
Oh, yeah.
I've noticed this on television,
Got it? Yeah,
yes, at the Mississippi.
no kidding, yeah.
They lay it on the banks of the Mississippi, they dredge the sludge and they put them in to widen the channel.
Yeah.
And the ship that lays it down is probably 350 feet or something like that long. And these are just layers that they drop down a place and they drop it in the mat, and then the next one comes up and it hooks onto it and they drop it in the mat. And they go right across the base of the river to control the thing. It was interesting to watch
Yeah.
what they do to control. And when I saw this, I said, gee, I've seen that before, but not
Yeah,
up close like this.
yeah. The
Very,
contractor,
very interesting.
the contractor, this was the first time he worked with something like that, but he said he was pretty impressed with the way it was laid out. Yeah,
That looks great.
yeah.
That means you're not gonna sink into the mud when you try to get to the
No,
easement.
no. Get through there.
Now, along the easement, Rob,
Yeah.
have we elevated the manholes?
Yeah.
So that we're not getting
Infiltration, right.
infiltration?
Yeah, we went through that easement. That's kind of what brought this about, was it was realized that, I mean, we could get our tractor in there, but it was tough, but we'd never get a truck out there if we needed to get a truck out there, so that's
Yeah,
kind
because
of
this
what.
goes kind of up and down,
Yeah,
and the terrain is such.
yeah,
And this allows the water to go,
right over it.
so
Yeah.
we have a base. Good,
Mhm.
very nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad they finally got the finish.
Yeah, yeah. Good, they were good company too, JH Landscaping, they did a fabulous job over there.
Good.
And that's all I have for the superintendent's report.
That's it?
Might be nice to send them a thank you letter.
Yep,
Yeah.
can do that.
You gotta work a half a day today, huh, Rob?
Yeah.
All right. Any new business?
We have no business, no.
No new business, no old business. Emergency business. Commission report.
You know,
Being any?
Nope.
I have nothing, Mr. B.
Life is good?
Life is good, life is
That's
great.
right, right,
Yep.
and that's all right, and you are aware with the letter that the superintendent wrote to the Board of Appeals. It's more of a clarification if he hadn't been giving you the opportunity to speak to you about why it is. If you're familiar or have any knowledge of a 40B process, the state created that for the purpose of affordable housing. And what it does is if somebody comes in with a project and they claim a 40B, it bypasses all of the normal channels and goes to the Board of Appeals to administer it. And all kinds of waivers are automatically given. And we wanted to be sure that that waiver that they're asking for does not include them telling us they're going to hook this, that, and that, and they're going to only pay A, B, and C. The rates that we have and the fees that we have aren't mentioned specifically, and we wanted to make sure that's clarified. Every other project, they come in and the superintendent signs off. Any building permit in the town, the superintendent of the sewer department has to sign off on before the building permit is given. If they waive that, then it means they'll just go ahead and do whatever they want, and I don't know whether it takes away any authority from the building inspector to manage and implement the bylaws that everybody's supposed to follow. So it was a good point that he found, and a very good idea to let them know that we are concerned specifically on that with the references he had. And thank you for doing your homework. Okay. This is going to be an extremely short meeting, but I do have the prerogative. Those of you who are watching this are not watching it live on Thursday, the 10th of October. But when you do watch it, keep one thing in mind. First week of November, this country goes to vote. We have a democracy. Some call it something other than that. It gives us rights. Those rights are guaranteed under a constitution. Footnote, this is a little bit of a civics lesson. But each one of us are protected under those rights. Whether you're a blue state or a red state, doesn't make any difference. Those rights are granted to us. And with those rights come an obligation and a responsibility. And that is to participate in our democracy. Whether it's for an article, for a local condition, a state article, 2 questions on this year's ballot, or whether it's for state elections, for our state rep, our state senator, or our governor, or our councilor, or whether it's a national, federal one, off-season just for senators or representatives, but every 4th year, every leap year for the presidency of the United States. We all have the opportunity to have our voice counted. We also have the obligation to exercise that right that was given to us. Every year, I've said it to my kids as they were growing up. I said it to my civics classes when I was teaching high school. It's a great country. Your voice matters. So instead of being worried about COVID, take your mask, go in and vote, or make arrangements to get an absentee ballot. But the most important thing for every single American is to participate in our democracy. So please vote. Keep it in mind, we get what we vote for. And if you don't vote, I don't know what you get. That being said, I will ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Made by Mr. Bickles, seconded by Mr. Kelleher. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned 6:25. Thank you.